Today we have Diablo Immortal here on the channel, and as you guys know, I was away on vacation for a week. I completely missed this entire update, so I wanted to bring DM on today to talk about it a little bit more in depth than I did yesterday, where I just kind of went through it and gave my impressions. DM, so far, what are you thinking, man? I know that the update has a lot of great stuff. Are you overall happy, overall unhappy? Where you lying?
Um, I think it's just a patch. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really change how I feel about the game because at the moment, it's I think like a 7 out of 10 is how I'm feeling about it. Maybe it started pretty fun. We're getting a little bit bored because maybe we're waiting on the next hell difficulties, etc. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like angry or anything. It's just we're in a little bit of a downtime. It's pretty standard for mobile games.
Yeah.
So the update I actually don't think was that bad. I think it got a little bit of a memed on because it's fishing in Diablo. So I kind of think if it got like a little bit of a bad rap, to be honest. Like I didn't think the patch was that bad. We got more gems you can farm, which was something I was literally just complaining about. And so
Yeah.
now we get more gems that you can farm. Like, I mean, how dumb would I be to like complain about how the normal gems take forever, and then they buff normal gems, and then I'm mad about it. So
I
I
know, right?
actually think that I actually like that. The argument about the refinement is that a kind of gaps between the free to play and normals a little bit. That's what we expected would happen. But luckily enough, the numbers like don't matter. Like if you actually do the math on it, the numbers are not significant in terms of how much life you're gaining from these refinements. Enough that and most people have like rank 4, rank 5 gems or something,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So the higher tier ones, you're missing like half of the bonus refinement. You're missing what 15% of gem or something. It's not
Okay.
really as bad as we thought it was going to be. So that's nice.
Yeah, so we
I
just
was
had a
kind of
little we had a
worried.
little scare there, a little concern of what
We
could happen,
did.
but it's not too bad, which is nice. All right, so let's go through things one by one. Obviously, we have new
Okay.
legendary items for all the classes. That's going to be continuous. I'm the Necromancer now. There are a few new things. It looks like they're buffing Command Golem a little bit, which is cool. Anything about your current? What are you playing now? You still Barbarian?
Yeah, I'm playing Barbarian.
Anything cool that's coming as far as
Uh,
legendary gear for you?
not really anything that stuck out too much. They do have this new like kind of AO. It reminds me almost of the I forget the exactly what it was called, but there was this cage on the Necromancer. It's a chest plate that makes like this circle
Mm-hmm.
trap that people are in. It's very similar to that, where it's supposed to encase you put like a circle around you or whatever. That's how it reads anyway on there. So I thought
Okay.
that one looked kind of interesting. And there's one that you should be able to knock people into walls. If you knock them in the walls, it gets stunned. Maybe that could be kind of cool in PvP. But I don't see anything that looks game changing like we had with like the House 6 essences, for instance.
Got you, got you. Well, we also have a rune system as well. A redesign to the rune system, basically put in place to more simplify things. I have not been able to test this out too much, to be honest with you. I haven't run many Elder Rifts since the update. Is it just an easier way of doing rifts right now? Is it an easier way to manage the rune system? You mentioned to me off camera that it was a little bit of a buff to the rune system. What are your thoughts overall on that one?
It's basically, from what I can tell from the math I've done, looks like a buff.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's 5. After 5 rare crests, you have enough runes to craft a 1-star legendary gem, and you can target that 1-star legendary gem. It's not just random.
Right.
So that seems to give me 5 crests to target one isn't too bad, considering the drop rate's 5%, from what I understand. And when you look at it, normally 1-star is 5%. It's better than the actual drop rate of like the legendary gems you're getting from the crafting. So that's how most people are actually going to be getting most of their 1-star gems free to play. That's what I can tell anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is good. I also think that being able to craft tradable like 2 stars,
Yeah.
tradable 1 stars, etc. From the fading embers separated from the AST, it's looks like an objective buff. I mean, I would say I'd double down, go more, but I'm always going to say go more because I think that the
This
crests are minimal. I'd still like to see a legendary crest today. I thought JT's idea was pretty on the nose. Give people a reason to log in, roll that 1 crest every single day. But I mean,
Yep.
this is a good start and change.
Yeah, so like you're saying, everything's heading in the right direction. It's like baby steps, but at least it's in the right direction. That's basically what we've been saying every single update for the most part.
Basically,
Yeah. All right, now
it's
normal.
mostly.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's never really that they're bad patches. Like that they never really seem to be bad patches. It's always a question of, is it enough to save
Yeah.
Diablo Immortal? It's like that's always what it boils down to when you actually read like people's comments and stuff, and people will say, oh well, this doesn't save all the other problems. Eventually I think it's going to, though.
Yeah.
is the thing, because we're like you say, it is baby steps, but we've been moving for a while. There's been a lot of pretty decent patches over the last 6 months.
Yeah, believe it or I mean, no matter what you say, we're going to be able to critique things and say how things could be better. But like we said, things have not, been going in the wrong direction. Now, we did have some new normal gem attributes, which aren't game breaking. It's not giving people any crazy amounts of power, as you mentioned. But we are getting more regular gems now as well. It was 16, I believe, and now it's 30 or something like that you can get every
18.
single day.
It was 18.
Okay.
Now, from what I can tell, it's 30. I keep seeing this pop up, and I actually don't know if this is conspiracy theory or not. I've seen multiple people in the comments saying this, but one guy I actually got good info from normally is Tiny Penny, and I think he said it too, which is that after the 30, it's a soft cap where you can still get more gems. It just drops the rate to like 0.001% or whatever, but you can get like a 31st gem. I've heard a lot of people say that's cap. Like the non-cap is cap, if you know what I'm giggling about here.
I know.
But that, I don't know. I have to wait and see. I haven't farmed 31 gems ever in a day.
It's a lot of gems.
I can't confirm it.
Now, you mentioned that this affected the economy. So today I logged in. I did, what did I do? 9 dungeons. I just caught up on all my dungeons, got my set items, and I got a whole bunch of gems. Sold most of them already. You can see on the screen right now. And you mentioned that the market was a little bit flooded with gems because we had so much more. People were just throwing them all up to get the platinum. No one was any longer saving them, trying to prepare for, the extra power or whatnot we were thinking may happen. But on my server right here, I'm still getting good value for my gems. It's not like, platinum values went down for anything. On your server, were you seeing the same thing, or how'd that look as far as values for your gems?
Day one, it got flooded a little bit with the non-demanded ones, so like rubies, etc. There was a surplus on, whereas normally on my server, everything's almost a snap buy at 400. Like, I almost never see any gems on the market. Every now and then I'll see a topaz, every now and then I'll see a ruby. But pretty much everything is just snapped up because it's a fairly competitive market. So for that reason, when I started seeing like, wow, there's actually gems, like there's gems to buy, like there actually is a market, right. It was definitely noticeable, yeah.
No, I like that though. But at the same time, this is how free-to-play players get themselves their platinum. So not only are you able to get these more gems into the market or get more gems onto your character, you can get more platinum. And if I look at myself right now, I have 71,000 platinum. I just bought a blood-soaked jade maybe 2 months ago, which was, 60, 70, 80, I don't remember. So you can actually build up some decent platinum, and this is going to be a nice way for free-to-play players to get even more quickly, so they can start buying maybe some of those 5-star gems or 3 out of 5-star gems that they're looking to get. So I like the gem drop rate increase. Plus, it feels good when you get them when you're playing through the game. For a more casual player, it's nice to pick up.
That's a good point. That's actually a bigger point than just like a small point, in my opinion, because I think there's one major problem with the game, which is there's a huge lack of dopamine. I actually don't think the game's like a bad game. I mean, honestly, I memes aside, like it's actually pretty fun. Like it's pretty smooth. It's arguably one of the best mobile games. The problem is there's a huge lack of dopamine. So you have the pay to win controversy that we've talked about so much. Everyone's fucking sick of hearing it. And then we have the huge lack of dopamine. So because when you're logging in, you're not getting hit with the normal, like most mobile gamers, and I do think majority of the people playing the Diablo game are like mobile gamers. When they're logging in, they want like a daily login though. They want to open something, they want to whatever, but you don't really get that very often. And I know they've been increasing drop rates and stuff, it kind of seems like, and we got the set crafting, etc. But you don't get that unexpected dopamine. In this game, it's always expected. Like you're going to run a legendary crest, okay, you're going to get something, the chances are so low, you're probably not going to get anything, but you don't get legendary crest enough to like get the daily dopamine. And when you're set crafting or you have the guarantee through the codex, you all like know it's coming. It's never like, oh wow, like I got like an oh wow moment. That just doesn't really happen. It's always like this slow kind of drip.
No, I agree. Like you're gonna log in. You're gonna get your rare crest. Like I said, I put out the videos on the daily grind. What you do every single day, you get some stuff, but it's all planned. You know what's coming. Now let's jump to it right now. And I'm trying to find it here in the patch notes. I noticed just from playing the game, not from looking at the notes, that when you After this patch, the hidden dungeons, they're no longer hidden, and I love that because now I don't have to, like, how many times have you seen a dungeon spawns in your zone and you just can't find the darn thing, right? Or
Have
you
you?
don't.
I mean, Echo. They're so very much not hidden that they force you to go to them. Have you know? I
That's
mean,
true. I know.
you go anywhere and it autopilots you to the hidden lair, whether you want to or not. You're going to that hidden lair right now. It's a hilarious. It's probably the funniest bug out of all of them.
But I love it because and again, I've gotten so many gems from that though. That's what I was doing. I did 2 hidden lairs today, and I did 9 dungeons. I got a lot of gems, and it just felt cool. I like getting into the hidden lairs. So they can autopilot me with that bug all the time, and I'm cool with it. That works with me. All right, let's move on. We got the combat globe changes. Nothing big there, but we have the frenzied and the charged globe that we can now use, which is cool. It's in and part of the defense of the castle, so why not put it in the rest of the game? Why just keep it right there, right? Not like it's crazy or do anything
I
big, but it's good that
I
it's...
think the frenzied globe is a bit of dopamine. I was just complaining about dopamine, and I think the normal gym buff is, like you were saying, an increase to that, which is nice. Part of the reason I like it, and I think this is the same thing. I think I made this point when I was going over the patch notes originally. Maybe I have memory of this where I was talking about how more exciting things need to happen when you're in the overworld, like when you find a loot
Yep.
goblin or when you find an orange elite. Like the most exciting thing that happens when you're farming is everyone's like, ah, orange elite. Like everyone's excited because
Yeah.
that is the dopamine, you know. So more variety of those, I think, is smart. So I actually really like this change.
Yeah, and it's an easy one. Like, it was already in the game somewhere else, but they just took it, put it here, and nothing crazy. Doesn't break the game, but I like it. I like how they did it. Now let's talk about some fishing, because I actually have a bit to talk about here with the fishing. But let's have your experience. I only went fishing a few times. I went through the whole fishing tutorial. Then I went to the bridge. I caught a few fish. It wasn't anything crazy. Like, I don't love the idea, but I like the whole concept behind it. If you look at their developers note, it talks about when you're done grinding for the day, you could still play Diablo Immortal in a casual way with friends, and you could just go fishing. That it's not all about the grind. It's another little mini game mode. And they did mention somewhere in here that this is the first of many different things that they have planned as far as these types of game modes. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so in their thing where they're saying what's coming in 2023, they mentioned a lot of like social stuff, the
Yeah.
social in game, and I think this is a small part of that. To your point there, but I think it's something else more, which is I think this is where most people are there's a disconnect, okay, which is
Yeah.
that Diablo is an active game. So when you're actively playing it all of the time, it is not really the traditional mobile game in that aspect. Okay, you're always playing it 100% of the time.
Yep.
And so what's interesting is this is one of the first passive things that we really have in the game, where it's like you do something, you come back in a couple minutes. This is essentially like in another game I play, Eternal Evolution. There is a idle collection you can claim for your rewards. So it's
Yes.
when you were gone for however long, you come back, your guys have farmed a little bit rewards for you. It's basically like, imagine if Diablo Immortal had, when you're offline, your guy's farming at 3% efficiency rate, but he's going out and he's killing some normal minions, and maybe he'll have a legendary for you when you get back. Okay, that's basically their version of that, because it is an active game and you still kind of have to do it, and then it kind of doubles down on the social feature, etc. I don't think it's supposed to be a replacement for overworld farming. I don't think it's supposed to be a replacement for dungeons. I think it's supposed to be, I'm watching a movie. I can't overworld farm because I'm watching the movie, but what I would like to do is still play my favorite game. If it happens to be Immortal, you can have it on your phone, on your iPad, whatever. It's running. Oh, I got a fish.
Yep.
Click, click. Cool, I got a mythical. Hit fish again, and then go back to watching your movie. I think that's the intent, and if that's the intent, I actually think it's like perfect for that. Actually, I don't really get the whining.
Yeah, I like it as well. And I also know the game that you're talking about. It was also in a game that I used to play called AFK Arena. While you're away, they farm for you. You log in and, oh, you have all this loot. And sometimes you have enough to upgrade. We just got to be careful and toe the line that we don't make it to the point where it's an auto farming system, right? They're
Yeah.
just dabbling a little bit, like you said. And I like it as well. I think it's good. Now, I just highlighted right here. Fishing is our first step towards adding immersive world-based experiences that bring combatless gameplay with social touches. I like that. And I was complaining a lot about Diablo Immortal 2 weeks ago. Put a bunch of videos out about my frustrations. And a lot of this stuff, not saying that fishing is going to save Diablo Immortal, but it's a step in the right direction. Now, they mentioned with this, and this is what my point was, You can't go fishing inside of the game until you are level 43. So put fishing aside, we always talk about PvP or different game modes. It would be my assumption, because there were other things in the past that I don't remember what they were, but that you couldn't do it until you were a certain level. Maybe it was
43 is one of those major levels. I remember what
right.
you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't remember what it was for, but it was a spot. So I could see if they ever do bring game modes, different game modes to the game, let's say PvP, for instance, I could see it being that you have to reach level 43 before you could participate in those things, which would make it so that
Yeah.
which is fine, but people would you wouldn't get those day one gamers that get addicted to that thing, right? They'd have to put in for casual gamers, they have to put in quite a few days to get to level 43 to try something out. So they'd have to be invested enough to get there.
Okay, so that's true. That's true, but I don't think it matters because the reality is by the time you're done with the story, there's new zones now. So by the time you're done with the story, you're max level now, as opposed to before it's like you're like 56 or whatever. Like you have things to do that are like the main focus. So they're basically funneling you through the required stuff in order to unlock all the zones. So then you can go free. I don't think it's too big of a deal to be like, hey, you can't fish. And good Lord, my cat just knocked something down. I don't think it's too big of a deal to be like, hey, you can't fish until you're 2/3 of the way through the story. Or else you could have, it could also be a botting problem too. Like, okay, now they're going to make a level 1 thing. Someone goes bots fishing for like hours until they hit the level they need just to be able to chat. And then they start spamming whatever website to try to sell stuff to. Like they're probably trying to work around that also, I'd imagine.
Good points. I'm not saying it's a problem. It was just something that I thought of that, that's probably how it would be as they implement these new different game modes. Last thing to talk about is the calendar, and it sounds like something kind of silly, but I love this thing, man, because I'll always forget Raid the Vault. I'll always forget when the Haunted Carriage comes. I just don't remember, probably because I don't care enough. If I catch them, I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to participate in this, but I often miss. So I like the calendar. I think it's really cool. Do you like it? It's in a lot of the other mobile games we play. Like you play Raid. I'm sure that they have some type of a calendar system in there. It was in Rise of Kingdoms when I played.
This is actually one of the better calendars out of the games I've played. I will say that there's some feedback points people have said, which is the creation of your own event seems to be limited in depth of how much you can do it, and that if you notice there's warband and clan, but they need like a friends or something on there as well. From what I understand, it's hard to invite friends to it, etc. I think they're maybe worried about spam. I'm not sure, but I know there has been some pretty good feedback points I've been reading. That being said, my initial impression of it was like, wow, this is really nice, because mostly what it is, I like about it is you can auto select on or off the notifications for just individualize the ones you want. So it's like, I don't like this event, I never want to do it, please stop spamming me about it. You can just mute it, and then you can enable the ones you want. Because I like doing carriage. I know it's like a huge waste of time to do most of these events because overworld farming is literally faster, but I just like them. So sometimes I like showing up and seeing all 50 people from the server or whatever in an area. I think it's cool.
That I think is one of the best things. You get to participate with other people. By the way, today I was in and doing just those dungeons, and it's cool that we play from other servers, right? Like we can play with people from other servers. I actually like that. People that we've never seen before, get to kind of meet new people, add new people to your friends list. And man, you have really sunk down on your chair since the start of this show.
I'm getting more and more comfortable as it's going on.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's good. I got the screen in front of me, and I got all the leg room, so it's perfect.
I love it, man. Okay, any last things that about this update that you think are good, that you're excited about, or do we really nail it all?
No, but can I go into what I want to see in the next update?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
All right, Blood Knight, please. I've been saying Blood Knight. The Data Miner's been saying Blood Knight. Everyone's been saying Blood Knight. It's not there yet. Save our speculation, please, and actually put the Blood Knight out.
By the way, stop there. I saw your video on that, something about the Blood Knight, and I was looking. I'm like, wait, is this? I'm on vacation. I'm like, is this a clickbait DM video, or
it's not that? It's honestly not that clickbait. It's mildly clickbait, but it's not that clickbait because if you actually look at there's the textures finally got uploaded from what I understand, and there's a new file that's being added to. Like they're adding stuff into the Blood Knight portion of the data. Okay. Like they're literally updating it. So it's either they're getting ready for it, or I don't know why would be updating it, one piece at a time for 9 months, whatever. But they do seem to be doing that. So it could just be, here's another piece. We figured out his arm today. I don't know.
It's a one-man team over there, man.
Who knows? But Who knows, indeed. But they're doing something. Something's happening in the Blood Knight camp. They're stirring
All right,
over
and what
there.
was the other
So,
thing that you want to see in the next update since I cut you off on the Blood Knight?
competitive mode, some kind of
Mm.
PvP competitive something. We like a queuable mode. I want to see a queuable mode. We have one queuable mode. It's Battlegrounds.
Yeah, it stinks,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Well,
it does. It's unbalanced.
I look forward to doing some challenges and having some fun with you in some upcoming videos. I appreciate you coming through today. Guys, make sure you check out DM's channel. It's DM Diablo Immortal, where he covers Diablo Immortal multiple times a day. He does some live streaming as well. Link down below. Thanks for coming to the channel, man. We'll see you guys in the next video.